This is hands down the most chilling monster horror film of 2020, uniquely blending deep-sea dread with Lovecraftian terror. Who would have thought that lurking in the Mariana Trench, 11,000 kilometers deep, was such a creature? Fair warning, this movie is intensely suffocating and oppressive. If you suffer from claustrophobia or thalassophobia, it's not recommended to watch this alone. Set in a futuristic world where human technology has advanced enough to mine resources in the abyssal depths of over 10,000 meters, the Kepler drilling station, under Tian Industries, stands in the darkest, deepest part of the Mariana Trench. Working tirelessly for months in this sunless, suffocating atmosphere is mechanical engineer Nora. But her monotonous routine is about to shatter. Fresh from freshening up, Nora startlingly discovers seawater seeping from above. Before she could even comprehend the severity, torrents of water gushed in. Racing to the isolation chamber, she urgently beckons her teammates to flee. The catastrophe's sudden onset meant only Rodrigo reached the chamber with her. As they were sealing off the chamber, 2 more teammates appeared, but the immense pressure was already distorting the corridor, and water surged in like jets. Recognizing their slim chances, Nora made a gut-wrenching decision. An explosive wave from the pressure difference catapulted them hundreds of meters. Although merely bruised, their crisis had only just begun. The station's voice system alerts of structural damage, predicting its imminent collapse. To make matters worse, their communication lines were down, leaving them unable to send distress signals to the control center. Their sole option? To hurry to the nearest escape pod. Racing against time, they pressed forward. Amidst the ruins, they followed faint distress calls, rescuing another fortunate team member. Navigating a narrow passage littered with the crushed bodies of colleagues, their relief turned to despair upon reaching the escape pods. They were all deployed. Solemnly awaiting them was their captain, who had just dispatched dozens of surviving teammates moments ago. Now, including Nora and her team, 6 remained stranded in the doomed station. No one knew exactly what had transpired. All they knew was that in half an hour, the damaged structure of the station would explode. Time was of the essence. Their only hope of survival now lay in reaching the Roebuck station. The captain's plan was audacious: suit up, take an elevator down to the seabed at 11,000 kilometers deep, walk to a transfer point to refill oxygen, and finally, trek across the ocean floor to Roebuck. On paper, it sounded doable. In reality, the challenges were immense. Given the snail-paced progress underwater, even if the pressure-resistant suits held up, their oxygen might run out. Initially, the team was against this risky endeavor. However, an intense tremor shifted their stance. The consensus was clear: staying was a certain death sentence. Might as well take a gamble. Swiftly, they donned their specialized deep-sea diving suits, apprehensively boarding the elevator. Yet, just as they submerged, disaster struck. Rodrigo's suit, somehow compromised earlier, began to fail. As water pressure intensified, cracks on his helmet grew, and when the hatch opened, the merciless pressure instantly crushed him. The shock of witnessing a life snuffed out in front of them was overwhelming, but there wasn't any time to grieve. The rest of the team successfully made it to the freight elevator. But, midway through their journey, a distress signal beeped. Speculating it might be from surviving teammates, the captain halted the elevator at the nearest platform. Paul and Liam were dispatched to investigate. All they found, however, was a wrecked escape pod and a mutilated corpse with something unsettlingly writhing on it. Caught off guard, an unknown creature lunged at Paul. Thanks to Liam's quick reflexes, he shot it down. Together, they hauled the creature's corpse back to the elevator. This was an unprecedented find, possibly a new deep-sea species. Curiously, Emily prodded it with a pencil, and it twitched. But, suddenly, the elevator went dark. Lights out. Violent jolts followed. And from above, another of these creatures made its chilling appearance. One disaster after another. The critically damaged Kepler station exploded. Due to the blast, the entire elevator started plummeting rapidly. Without hesitation, everyone quickly suited up and managed to escape onto the seafloor just as the elevator made a harsh impact. As massive debris rained down, any misstep could lead to a grim death beneath the sea. Their only choice was to keep moving forward. Eventually, they safely reached the transfer station. Their next steps seemed straightforward: take the tram to a resting cabin, refill on oxygen, and continue walking to Roebuck Station, But soon after the tram started, it halted due to flooding ahead. With no other choice, they decided to go on foot. To make matters worse, a massive piece of debris blocked their path. Nora, being quick to act, suited up and opted to scout ahead. She found an underwater channel that seemed to lead to the other side. One by one, they followed, but as Paul's turn came, he sensed something ominous behind him. As he submerged, with the help of his team, he was almost through when suddenly something yanked him back. The monstrous force ripped off Paul's leg. Blood clouded his helmet as he tragically lost his life. Presumably, the unknown creature struck again. Without a moment's hesitation, the rest of the team sprinted towards the resting cabin. Losing another comrade plunged the group into terror. Yet, after refilling their oxygen, they had to continue their perilous journey to the Roebuck station. The suffocating darkness, the ever-looming threat of these mysterious creatures, it was overwhelming. And as if to validate their fears, a creature darted right before their eyes, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Before anyone could react, Liam was dragged away. When they realized, the creature had pulled him into a nearby cave. The 3 remaining members quickly followed. The captain dove into the cave without hesitation, and fortunately, Liam was unharmed. But just as they were about to pull him out, the creature attacked again, dragging the captain and, through the safety tether, pulling Nora along too. The creature ferried them through another exit of the cave and quickly swam upward until Nora collided with some equipment, momentarily freeing them. But the creature was relentless, lurking close by, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. As the monster loomed closer, its terrifying features became clear to the 2 divers. In a heartbeat, the creature lunged at Nora, its jaws gaping wide, aiming to swallow her whole. Luckily, the captain acted swiftly, using a weapon to fend off the beast. However, this only infuriated the creature more. It grabbed the 2 of them and started to ascend rapidly. The sudden change in pressure caused their dive suits to sound alarms. If they kept rising, they'd be dead. The captain shouted at Nora to let go of the safety rope, but she refused. Left with no other choice, the captain sacrificed himself. Following an explosion, Nora found herself plummeting to the ocean floor. Though she narrowly escaped death, her teammates were nowhere in sight. Desperately, she called out for Emily, but was met with nothing but eerie silence. Using the faint light from her gear, Nora wandered aimlessly, only to stumble upon an abandoned drilling site. Taking a brief respite, she found a brand new diving suit and a flare gun. With renewed hope and better equipment, she ventured back into the perilous deep. As she was calling out for her teammates and heading toward the Roebuck station, she noticed a faint light ahead. Rushing forward with excitement, she found Emily, who was struggling to drag an injured Liam. Nora quickly approached them, but to her surprise, Emily mistook her for a monster and sprinted away. It wasn't until Nora tackled her that Emily recognized her friend and heaved a sigh of relief. Together, they continued towards their destination, supporting Liam. Just as they approached the entrance of the Roebuck station, they were met with a horrifying sight. Countless monsters were covering the entire passageway, seemingly dormant. Treading cautiously, they maneuvered between the creatures. But midway through, a lack of oxygen triggered an alarm on Emily's suit, waking one of the creatures, which swiftly captured Nora. The creature ensnared Nora, and in a chilling moment, its cherry-sized mouth enveloped her, swallowing her whole along with her dive suit. Just when all seemed lost, Nora fired the flare gun she'd found earlier. The shot pierced through the monster's body. Yet, after escaping, Nora noticed something peculiar. The remaining monsters didn't attack her, instead, they followed a massive object, vanishing from her sight. Gazing into the distance, a colossal figure, barely visible, loomed over the station. Using her last flare, she illuminated the abyss to discover an immense sea creature so vast that just its head covered the entire station. The smaller creatures were merely its offspring. Realizing the impending danger, Nora rushed towards the station's entrance. However, with a mere flick of its tail, the creature caused an explosion akin to a nuclear blast. The force threw Nora off, but just in time, Emily managed to save her, pulling her back into the station. Supporting each other, the trio raced to the escape pods. But the gigantic creature began attacking the station, which was on the verge of collapsing. Reaching the escape pods, they found only 2 operational ones. Without making a fuss, Nora silently decided to give the chance of survival to Emily and Liam. Confused, Liam entered one of the pods. Before Emily could react, Nora pushed her into the second one, telling her to live on and jokingly advising her to find a new job on LinkedIn. As the pods launched, Nora sat alone, awaiting her fate. Just when she thought it was over, she realized the creature, leading its brood, was chasing after the escape pods. Knowing they'd be doomed, Nora made a bold decision. She would not only save her teammates but also take down the monster. She initiated the station's self-destruction sequence. In the film's conclusion, Liam and Emily were rescued, but TN Industries covered up the truth, labeling the incident as an accident. They also plan to restart their exploration of the Mariana Trench.